On day 3 we planned to swim the entire length of the Menai Strait from Penmon down to the southwest entrance and out to Llanwyn Island on the west coast of Anglesey. It was a big plan, but it meant that we'd have a chance of completing the entire challenge in 4 days. So at 9 o'clock in the morning we were back in the water, heading southwest towards Menai Bridge. We had John Willisey with us on this day, local sea kayaker, who probably knows the Menai Straits better than anyone else, and we figured we'd get the advantage of his local knowledge as we swam down the first section of the Straits. It was really important that we swam quickly that morning because we had to time the tides perfectly in order to get past Beaumaris and past Bangor on high water slack so that we could catch the ebbing tide down the rest of the Menai Strait. So this is the start of day 3 and we're driving from home up to the northeast end of the Straits of Penmon. We're going back to the place that we finished our last swim yesterday, having crossed the east coast of Anglesey. And today's swim is all about making progress down the Straits. Yeah, it's day 3, and today could be a big one for making progress. I've started to think of it almost in terms of a football league, because the season's begun again since we started swimming, and some people know I'm a keen Everton supporter, and each day's brought different challenges which you can relate to the football environment. Friday was really tough. That was our first day, and we had to swim through big tidal streams off the major headlands. We had to deal with big waves and a long open crossing, and there were lots of decisions to make. It was very challenging. It felt a bit like going to Old Trafford and playing against Manchester United. They threw everything at us in the first half, and all we could do was just fight hard to stay in the game. And yesterday was a bit different because we had to make a big offshore swim down the east coast of Anglesey, and it felt like playing away from home again. Unfamiliar waters, a long way from shore, but John and I coped pretty well with the demands of the day. And to continue the football analogy, it felt a little bit like playing away against a lower level team, perhaps Southampton, because we did really well, but then it got really hard to finish the game. The last hour and a half swim was just a real nightmare as the tide dropped away, and they really parked the bus in front of the goal. It was very hard to reach the lighthouse at Puffin Sound, and the opposition did everything they could do to deny us that possibility. But today, we're looking forward to today because it's a home game. It's the Menai Straits, it's our home waters, and we know it. And it feels like we're going back to Goodison Park to stick it to a team that's worrying about our arrival, possibly a Wigan, possibly. And I think we're going to score a lot of goals today. We've got some targets, and I think we're going to find the back of the net quite a few times this morning. Hopefully by half time we'll be down at Menai Bridge, and then the second half on the ebb all the way past Carnarvon. I think we're going to run riot in the opposition's half, so I'm looking forward to a legendary game to please the home crowd today. Working a treat. I can hardly do it this morning. Yesterday it was clunking and painful every stroke I took, and I think it showed in some of the pictures. But today it's moving really well. It's still sore, but I can cope with that. I expected some soreness, so I'm feeling a lot more positive about what we're going to achieve now. Yeah, so hopefully I'll win by the end of the day. Yeah, good. good. I feel the pressure a bit because I know we need to get past Beaumaris, so I'm concentrating on trying to get the distance done first thing. I've just got the sense if we can get there quick enough, then it's all downhill, isn't it? So every now and then I feel like I've just got to keep going.
Katie. Very impressed. Oh. So we're up on the bridge waving at you as well.
It's John's fan base. He had about 30 of them at Camlin. It's unbelievable.
You're just jealous, aren't you?
There was no one for me.
Nobody likes you.
Very impressive.
He had off the hospital taking a sickie.
Okay, I won't hold you.
No.
We're doing well.
Really well.
What time is it now? We set off about
12:10.
Oh, we're bang on.
Right, what?
Perfect.
So, are you off to Ballinholly now?
We're going to go to Valley. We're going down to
Not really.
Clanwyn.
From Camlin to Lydos.
Okay.
We flew. It took us 2 hours, 10 minutes. And we finished just as it was going dark. Oh, it's beautiful. Really good. And yesterday was monster because we went from Lynos to Penmon and we stayed out. So we did the Great Circle route.
Was that the picture with the commercial ship?
That was anchored out off the east coast. And we just got to Penmon on the very last, it was slack about 20 minutes after we got there. And so we said yesterday, that's it. Because there was no way, we were too late to get to Beaumaris. The ebb was already starting to come out by the time we'd had a rest.
Yeah.
So we said, get up early, get down to here. So we put a good shift in this morning, 3 hours.
3 hours?
Yeah, and I think we'll do another 3 now.
Another 3.
But that'll take us, I reckon we'll get out of Abermenai if we can get to Clanwyn.
That's
And
it's Clanwyn, Roscoe, it's not a million miles away then, is it?
And we have, if necessary, 2 more days.
2 more days.
So we can just go, right, we'll do what we can.
Yeah.
And if we get knackered, we'll stop.
By the middle of the day, we'd reached Menai Bridge, and the ebb tide was running really hard as we got back in the water to continue our journey down towards Carnarvon and the southwest entrance to the Straits. John and I were feeling great at this point because we were back in local waters. We were going to swim past our home village, and it was an area of the Straits that we knew very well. We'd done a lot of swim training there. The Swellies is a fantastic place to swim through. You get fast tides and it all flows over shallow rocks, so you get whitewater rapids forming. And we really enjoyed swimming through the waves as the tide took us out underneath Britannia Bridge and down towards Vellinhelly.
Good boy. Oh, good boy. Come here. Come here. Who's a good boy? Come here, bad touch. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
As we swam past Carnarvon, once again we began to feel the effects of the long day in the water. We realised it was going to be a 7-hour swim in total to get down to Llanwyn Island.
Come on, Barry. It's not far now. We'll be alright. Just 2 more kilometres. You'll be okay.
We debated stopping at Carnarvon in order to break the journey, but we realised if we did that we wouldn't be able to complete the challenge in 4 days. So we kept going. John was struggling with a shoulder injury at this point, but he pushed on. We made it out the mouth of the Straits, and we turned and we swam the last few kilometres to Llanwyn Island. It was beautiful weather, conditions were excellent, and all we had to do was keep our heads down and just keep working hard.
Yeah, John.
Of course. The last 2k was torturous.
Still got a mile and a half to walk to the car park.
We're here on Llanwyn Island and it's the end of day 3. We've swum 35 kilometres from Penmon today, down the entire length of the Menai Strait and then out over Carnarvon Bar to Llanwyn Island. It's been an amazing day. It's been excellent weather and really good conditions in the Straits, and we had to work pretty hard this morning to get down to Menai Bridge. We used the last of the flood and we had to swim pretty hard to make sure that we got down to the bridge for high water. But we did that. It was 3 hours of effort, and then we picked up a really good ebb tide down the Straits, past Carnarvon, out of Abermenai Point and into the open sea again. Really, really good. It's been a long day though, 7 hours in the water, and we had to work pretty hard for the last 5 kilometres. Not much tidal assistance over to the island here. But it's been well worth it because we've got as far as we hoped we would. I think it's come at a cost, and I think you've found the day quite taxing, eh, John? How are you feeling now?
Yeah, I am pretty tired now. The first part of the day was fine, wasn't it? Even up until Carnarvon. But then I picked up an injury yesterday and the lads came over and did some work with some tape, which worked a treat. I mean, you can't ask for more. I swum for 6 hours pain-free. The last hour was, without any shadow of a doubt, quite painful. But then, that's what it's all about, isn't it? You can't ask your body to do things like this. No matter how much training you do and preparation, you know, you can't always prepare for some of the things that go on, and especially some of the big waves we experienced on our first day when we were over at Penryn Mawr and coming round the stacks. I think that's where it all started, trying to get that really high arm up. So I'm very pleased we've got here, because last night we were talking about adding an extra day on and maybe stopping over at the top of the Straits, at the southwesterly end, a place called the Vorrid. I didn't want to do that, and when we got there I was very pleased to say we can carry on, and it was only really, I wonder whether it was the waves that we can see out there, whether I started having to use my arm a lot higher than I had done during the day today, and that's what started bringing it back on. But you know, we're here now. We've got a shorter day tomorrow. It's probably be a little bit tougher because there's very little in the way of tide to help us tomorrow, but then every stroke's a stroke home tomorrow, so every time we put our hand in the water we're going home.
And if you look into the distance you can see Holyhead Mountain, and down at sea level the furthest headland is Roscollin. There's a little tower on there, it's the islands of Roscollin Beacon, and that's where we're going tomorrow. It's about 18 kilometres from here, and when we get there we've swum the entire coastline of Anglesey. So let's bring it on.